So here we have another little sort of walkway, not a tunnel this time, but guiding you onwards, and the first glimpse of one of my favourite signs in this garden as we head to the Japanese garden down here. Again, just for completeness, there's a nice little memory garden there, kind of a nice memorial. But ahead, I'm afraid I'm still drawn to the sort of Japanese garden. On the entrance here, more grass. Again, lovely, just breaking up the edges there. And again, I'm no expert, but I know what this is. It's Pieris japonica. I do like these actually, because they are a kind of green shrub, but the new growth tends to be really red. Just a tiny bit reminiscent perhaps of some of the maples where the new growth is red. It just adds that sort of bit of interest really. But as you can see, some good no growth here, which can only be sort of helped by the overcast, warm and moist climate that we're currently having in the UK. Again, they're ramping up the Japanese theme. Kind of very interesting statue there. And this is an interesting one actually, because it's completely not in keeping with the garden in some senses. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely lovely, but that's definitely cherry swartz. It's really easy to tell the habit's right. It looks like cherry swartz, I'm sure it is. But why is it's not in keeping with the garden? It's just because that was found by a guy called Billy Swartz in the US. So yes, it's a Japanese maple, but it's actually American, if you know what I mean. Still a maple though, so I'm not criticising, but I'm probably just being slightly pedantic, but it has come from a different part of the world than most of the more mature trees that are here. More maples there. Again, so nice to see new trees. I mean, you know, why not plant some different ones? Why not keep things going? Gardens still evolve over time. They're not supposed to be done and forgotten and left forever. Nice little weeper there. So you can just see this area actually over time filling in quite nicely. At the back, some classic sort of bamboo plantings. I mean, this stuff's interesting, isn't it? It's been blown off centre by the wind a great deal, but just spectacular. And again, this takes one growing season to get this big, which is unbelievable, and then it stays at the full height. There's a nice statue there as well. Just a nice prelude, I suppose, to the main Japanese garden. So I do hope from whichever part of the world you're from, you're enjoying these videos. Again, sad if you're ever in the UK, definitely come. Someone left a comment the other day, one of my subscribers actually, that they travel, to the UK not infrequently, so this could be it's definitely on their list of places to go, and that's what we're about. But even if you'll probably never come here, I just think it's interesting to see how things are done. The use of this archway here, for example, leading you into this area. So even though we've seen quite a few lovely sort of Japanese plants throughout, this is the kind of main event where I suppose it's pretty much exclusively, or it is exclusively Japanese. It's a beautiful little well here. Again, using red is very powerful in the garden because it just draws your eye, doesn't it? And behind it, a good bamboo planting as well to set the whole thing off, which is lovely. Let's pause on that for a second. You can always pause the video, I suppose, and have a read of that, but as it says, this is regarded one of the best and most authentic in Britain. And a couple of pictures at the bottom there of the construction. I thought I'd gone to a lot of effort making my little garden, but Nothing compared to this. Again, good use of statues. I think some of these statues, I mean, the older they get, the better they look, really. A bit like me, really. Okay, forget that. Hostas. I really do like hostas, actually. They will sort of die away to absolutely nothing. But they have kind of a rhizome under the ground, which is very, very durable. So even though some of these leaves will get sort of damaged and over the course of the season, you get to start fresh again next year. They're also very, very dividable, so you can actually dig these up. They don't. The roots are relatively shallow, and then you can sort of break them apart into 2 or 4 sections, and then give them away to friends or use them in other parts of the garden, really. So once you've got a hosta, it's kind of yours, and you can sort of take cuttings of it, sort of thing, but actually just by splitting the roots, which is lovely. Oh, isn't he great? Lovely little fella there. Again, very much in keeping, and the way it's weathered just adds to the effect. I kind of mentioned how creating a sort of vista across the garden so you can see it from various angles is very well done here, really, and this is amazing. So I'll zoom in a bit to sort of see what I mean, but a sort of bit of a magnification. You can just see the top of the house there. I think that one there needs a trim, to be honest, if I'm being, who am I to say, but there we go. But otherwise you can see right across the entire garden, really. And if you go wide, there's this gorgeous little sort of summer house they've created with some chairs in it, so you can sit here and relax and just enjoy the view. Again, great, they've got people catered for here in different routes. I think we just go back to the hostas down there, actually. I really like those, what they've done. They don't need much soil. You get a lot of greenery for not that much soil investment, really. But the way they're in these old pots and just raising them off the ground a little bit to highlight them, I think is lovely. Or you can plant them in sort of a mass planting, really, to give sort of a ground cover, to cover a big area, but very nicely done indeed. Again, I'll come back again and do this sort of thing in the spring, but these are azaleas, and just see 1 or 2 left. It's quite sheltered here, so they probably lasted a little bit longer than most of the UK, but just will look absolutely spectacular. Again, this is a sort of route for wheelchairs and stuff, so it's nice that that's well catered for. But you're just introduced to some lovely pagoda sort of statues, and then if I zoom in, looking through to the star of the show, really, this sort of house they've constructed. You can't go in it, unfortunately, but again, just sort of inviting you, I suppose. Yeah, that's a good word, inviting you to go and have a closer look. I think I'll walk down here a little bit more. Again, this sort of azalea's gone over, but you can imagine a few months ago how beautiful they looked. And then a lovely maple here. Just to enjoy as well. So just in and amongst this lovely maple here. What I do love about Japanese maples is they can actually have some quite good winter interest. So you've got Sangukaku, coral barks, kind of red, going green, obviously stemmed, and Baihu that's yellow. These look really twisted and contorted the way the branches are, so they look really good in winter. You're then treated to a spectacular spring, and just as spectacular, perhaps more so for some people, it's debatable, autumn in sort of September, October. But all year round, you've got something that just looks lovely. No, it's not a sort of wildly spectacular pass as a rose or a peony or something like that, but the texture's just gorgeous. These retain their colour pretty well, actually. But you almost want to just touch them. They're sort of lovely. They're just walking through. Again, just looking at vistas. What a shot that is. I'll just zoom through it a little bit so you can see, but it just takes the eye on a sort of amazing journey, really, to something of interest at the end. I quite like photography, and the way this is constructed, it's really, really effective. And then the path just leads you kind of ever onward. Another sort of lovely little seating area. Again, the statues just look amazing, really. I think in the West we're sort of quite obsessed traditionally, or people were obsessed and probably still are, with everything has to be pristine and, you know, looking like new all the time. Whereas, how cool does that look? Been here for years and years, no doubt. But perhaps when I say it's like people buying brand new jeans or sort of stone washed ones that look pre-worn, I suppose, and this looks old, and it's all the better for it, I think. Nice little view back through the bamboo. Actually, I've never noticed that before. I'll zoom on that a little bit for you. You can see that statue there with all the bamboo. Looks kind of an accident. Sure it wasn't. Sure that's quite deliberately, really. And again, just makes you want to walk further. Now here's a hosta I've seen many times, actually. Growing in precious little soil, but it always comes back every year and looks fantastic. There are about 600 varieties or more of hostas, so you know there's bound to be one for everybody. What a view. And actually you can see sort of you can make your way across the water here with little stepping stones that are coming, so again it's sort of inviting you. But what an interesting idea, just putting a hosta there. It's in flower, actually. I've never seen that before. So even though they're not really grown for their flowers, I think they look lovely. But again, just through there, looking amazing. I do like kind of using the wide angle lens on here, because it just gives you an idea of, you know, some depth to it all, really. And what they've done is they've created some real foreground interest here. So there's lovely sort of lilies and whatever, but everywhere you look there's just interest. A little glimpse of red there as well, again just inviting you to walk along these stepping stones to enjoy the next bit, which we'll absolutely do. Now, if I fall in, that'll make an even better video, but we'll try and avoid that. It's lovely winding steps. Great statues as well on corners and things like that to sort of, I mean, isn't that great? Because whichever way you come towards it, you can enjoy that. It's probably good to stop and turn round at times as well. So here we are, I'm under a sort of complete canopy of beauty, really, just looks amazing. Little area there. And wow, I wish you had this in my garden. Just a beautiful, beautiful entranceway. And this little fella kind of latched on and spiralling down. More glimpses of the building over there. Another acer. And yet again, I do enjoy doing these videos because it makes me think, I think, more. And once again, it hasn't really occurred to me before, but there we have water and there we have a weeping maple. The two just go in hand so well. And again, because it's of its type and structure, I can actually, you know, get inside and really enjoy it. The way these sort of twist and contort in different directions, they are basically a genetic aberration. They shouldn't do this. Trees should grow upright. That's what maples do. But again, you seem to sort of see the similar genetic traits or genetic, I want to say issues with them, but the sort of variation does lead to sort of common things, and loads of these are like this. This has taken decades to grow. I mean, these things don't grow very fast, but just gorgeous. And again, those lacy leaves, they're nearly always on a dissectum like this, which is sort of weeping and low, apart from Syrio, which is a tree we had earlier. That's the one that grows upright. So it's just amazing that they're almost themes, but they can be combined in sort of really, really different ways, which is lovely. So now standing on this red bridge, looking across to the red building over there, absolutely gorgeous. And again, it's just clever, isn't it? Connecting the two things together really, in a really attractive way. Using that hosta just there, right by the edge, to break the edge of the construction up really. And of course, just looking into the water, they've got some koi and some much smaller fishes too. Just to wherever you look, there's more interest, which is just really, really well done. And moving on over here, some really very appropriate statues. And interesting how they put the bamboo behind, actually. It sort of sets them off really, but it's just breaking the garden up into sort of sections. So at times it's like they want to hide stuff from me, but then all will be revealed, if you know what I mean. So looking through these statues here, you get a lovely view over to the house construction. And again, always good to turn around and look backwards, because there's a lovely view there running through back the way I came. So again, from back there, another sort of corner again, another statue. Little walkway there to a lovely little seat. And then onto these stepping stones. I'm just zooming in for you. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that gorgeous? They're all brilliantly done, all in keeping. And again, the stepping stones just inviting you to move forward. So just from here, probably the ultimate place to stand in many ways in Compton Acres. Great view all through here, and then just spinning around, we've got the waterfall at the end. So again, well worth the effort to walk over these stepping stones. Once again, a little voyage of discovery. Statues acting as kind of sentinels, I suppose, really. And again, another teasing little vista. Just see the top of the little waterfall there. Once again, weeping maple. Again, this is a wide angle lens, so it probably looks longer than it actually does. But you can we'll just go up together and see how this looks. And if I sound a bit out of breath, it's because I probably am. But again, you walk down these paths and you're rewarded with some Something amazing, really. It's interesting because the main building is actually sort of done in a almost a European Italian style. And once again, it's all about views and vistas, really. Just a fantastic view back across, because I've gained a bit of height by walking up here. Again, I'm rewarded. If I lift the camera, you can see better. I'm rewarded with something really amazing. I mean, sure, it's a shame it's not a sort of sunnier day, but I do think actually it sort of feels quite authentic, really. I can just imagine this sort of being a sort of wet, sort of Japanese kind of day, really, and why not? All of this again in the spring will look amazing. So, always an excuse to come back. Again, just another nice little seating area there if you wish. I'm walking back down now. More views of the garden with the stepping stones. Lovely, lovely maple there, actually. It looks amazing. Again, thoughtful planting. It's grown up from a stem and then it sort of branched out at the top, so it doesn't occupy so much visual space, really. And then behind it, classically, the green one too. The two contrasted together look just fantastic. And there's that hint of red from the building beyond. And there's a view of the actual building. So just walk up the little path here. Again, it's a shame you can't get across to it. I suppose you'd probably get damaged over time. But what an amazing construction. So I really hope you're enjoying the content of these videos. If you are, if you could like and subscribe to the channel, that'd be fantastic. And please hit the notification bell as well, because that way you'll know when I upload more. I'm really, really pleased with how things have progressed, and this little channel sort of growing quite nicely, really. So thanks to all those that subscribed already, and a special thanks to all those that ask questions or, you know, have ideas. And please let me know if you want any more different content, because we can do that. And I hope to see you soon in another video. Cheers.